Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the very first Psychic Hour of 2025. Lisa, I know you're already on here in the chat room helping to get things organized. Can you just take a quick peek at the screen, make sure that everyone can see and hear me and also see my screen?
Well, I can hear and see you, but I don't know if they can or not.
Well, if you can, everyone should be able to. And you can see my screen too, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. Folks, I always like to ask that, especially because GoToMeeting, the platform that we have been using for over 20 years now, is constantly updating things and making changes. And usually they turn out to be good things, but a lot of times when we're first getting, the wrinkles out, we have some glitches. So if ever something isn't working for you, just speak up in the chat room or raise your hand and Lisa will call on you and we'll get it straightened out. Welcome. I'm so excited. I have a feeling you are too. Excited to be stepping forward into 2025, finally. 2024 was kind of from my perspective, with so many of the difficult things going on in the world, a brutal year. I know right now with the fires going on in California and so many other difficulties around the world, we're getting off to kind of a rough start in 2025 as well, but I really think we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and I just have really happy, good feelings about this year. So I want to just share that energy with you. Folks, this evening is especially exciting to me because I'm going to introduce something brand new that I've just created. So you're going to be among the first people to really take a look at my new Kabbalah Pathworking deck. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But before we jump into our session this evening, just let me remind you, and I see new faces here too. We've got a whole slew of people who've been with me every month for years, so welcome back. And we also have a handful of new people. I want to welcome you to the Psychic Hour. I think you're going to love it. And folks, whether you're old, in which case, and I don't mean old in age, I mean old in having been here many, many times, or whether you're brand new, this will be good information just to kind of remind you or give you insight as to how I run these. The most important thing perhaps is that everyone here is going to get to ask me a question. If you have a question already formulated, then go ahead and raise your hand. You'll see the little hand on the board here on your screen. And when Lisa sees that hand, she'll know you have a question and that you want to ask it. I have a limited number of spaces for answering questions because I do go into considerable depth, but everyone who's here and stays until the end is going to get a chance to ask me a question, because if you don't get called on during the psychic hour, and you send me an email either to the email you signed up with here, that's right on the program, or to Lisa SA Inc. at AOL.com, Lisa's email. Okay, either way, that question is going to reach me and I will answer it. You have to get those answers in between my schedule, so it may take me a little while to get back to you, but usually within the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I will have your question back to you. Now, here's how the question goes. When you get called on or when you send me an email with a question, same things I need to know. The first is just your first name, okay? Especially if you're going to be called on, because this does get published on the social media sites. So we don't want people to really know who you are. Just say the first name. So I want your first name, especially if you're here in person, asking the question verbally. I want to know where you're calling from, because that is always very interesting. Most of the people who call in from the United States and Canada, probably because the time zones are closer, but we also get a lot of people from around the world as well. So it's always fun to find out where people are coming from. I also want to know what you're most grateful for in your life right now. One of the things I've been seeing on oh my God, all the social media sites right now, whether it's Facebook, i.e. Meta, whether it's X, formerly Twitter, or whether it's YouTube or any of the other myriad of social media networks, everybody is talking about how important gratitude is. As a matter of fact, they talk about an attitude of gratitude, literally changing your brainwave pattern. And as your brainwave pattern changes, you're able to stimulate and effects out there in the world around you, i.e., you're creating your world. So developing an attitude of gratitude is one of the ways that we can turn our world into the positive, wonderful, happy place that we want it to be. So one of the things I always ask everybody who's here is the first thing is to think about, what am I most grateful for this evening? And when you get called on, please share that with us so that we can all feel that wonderful energy with you. It empowers it, okay? Then I want to know what your sun sign is. This chart that you see up here on the board is what we call a horary chart. It's a throwaway chart. It's not your birth chart, but it is your chart tonight for every single person who's here with me on the Psychic Hour. I can look you up on this chart and I can tell you what's coming up in your life, what's around you right now, and i.e., we're going to get some great information from this chart. And because of working with this chart, and also I will be working with regular tarot cards, my Rider-Waite deck here, which I always do, I'm going to be able to give you lots and lots of information without you even asking a question. So we're going to talk about that first, just based on your sun sign. And then once I've got that information, which we can all listen to, because that's going to help everybody here, then you're going to get to ask your specific question that's just for you. And frankly, folks, even those specific questions can apply to everybody here. One of the things I've learned over the years is that my guides may be talking to one person, but they know you are here, even though it's not you they're talking to directly. And so in the middle of that other person's reading, you're going to be getting all kinds of information that benefits you in what you're needing and going through right now. So my guides have a way of speaking to everyone, okay? And by the way, some of you who are clairvoyant or very sensitive, which is happening for most people right now, you're actually going to be able to see that thin bit of gold, or sometimes it's violet energy coming in through the top of my head. That is what happens when I'm in channel. When I'm in channel, I'm bringing in your guides and my guides to give us the information that comes through in this session. So I'm working with astrology, with tarot, and I'm also working directly with our guides, all of them. Isn't that wonderful? That's one of the reasons these sessions feel so good and they're so magical. Okay, before we get started, folks, I want to just go around and give you a little bit of information. I call this my housekeeping moment, so just bear with me. You know, my website is www.sandyanastasi.com. Please, if you signed up, I'm sure for this session, I'm sure you've been there to sign up for the Psychic Hour. You've signed up for my newsletter, and take advantage of it, because there's lots of good things that will come to you by having signed up for that newsletter. Please also download the app. Now, that sounds really simple, but one of the wonderful things about the app is that the app is on your telephone or your iPad or whatever your smart device that goes online is. And even if you should lose your electric and you should lose your internet connection, anything that's from my site, any classes you've taken, any information you've downloaded is going to be in that app. And so you can still access every single thing that you have ever gotten from my site, even without an internet connection, as long as you have that app. So download the app, because it's a really good thing to have. And incidentally, I know there are a lot of people tonight, right now, online with us, who have come online and are actually in this seminar with us on the app. So the app can go online live like this too. You're going to have fun with it. Please also don't forget to visit our community. We do have an open community, which is just for you folks. And, you know, the online world is changing so crazy. Some sites are good, some sites have good forums, some of them are like, oh my God, I don't know if I can go there again. Well, guess what? The forums on this site are always nice. We're all nice people, folks. We're all open-minded. We all want to share with each other. We all want to practice with each other. We all want to hear about each other's lives. So join the forum here, and it's a safe place to share who you are and what you're involved with. So do join that open forum. As long as you've signed up for my newsletter, that open forum will be listed in your library right on the website. You can access it there, or you can access it through your personal app. Okay, just go onto the site and click library. Once you've entered and put your credentials in, click library, and you will see your open forum right there, and you can write whatever you want in there. Okay, Lisa and I are accessible on that forum. We get to see what you write. Sometimes we answer directly, sometimes we let other students answer. Usually you hear from us eventually. The thing is, we see everything that's going on there, so it's a direct connection to both of us. Now, I want to let you know that my What's Coming in 2025, the webinar that I did last October in 2024, is still online. You can still purchase it. And for a limited number of days until the end of January, which is just around the corner now, when you buy that for $25, you're going to get last year's as a free gift. Now, why would you want last year's? Only because it gives you an idea of how accurate this year's is going to be, okay? One of the things that really jumped out at me is I remember somebody asking me during the webinar, is Trump going to be sworn in as president? And my guide said no. And I asked it 2 or 3 different times, and he kept saying no. And I thought, wow, we had so right up until the moment that he was sworn in, I was like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Of course, we all know nothing happened. He got sworn in. But, he didn't put his hand on the Bible. He never did. Never put his hand on the Bible. So what do my guides know? Okay, they don't always tell me everything. You get things in little bits and pieces. So I'm still waiting to see what that's all about. But they did know that he was going to be president again. They knew that all the way back in 2024. And in fact, they knew that in 2023 and 2022, all the way back to 2020. They knew that. So check it out. You're going to have fun re-listening and looking at the past, and you're also going to have fun getting a look into what's going to be coming into our world in 2025. And boy, it's going to be an amazing place. This is a very important year, folks. If you're in my VIP, you'll see that when you go on the website, there's a VIP membership. In fact, I think it just says membership, but those are my VIPs. If you take a look at that, you'll find out everything that is available to people in the membership. Folks, if you're a VIP and you're a member, just make a note. Your next coaching call is February 6th of 25 at 7 p.m. Okay, make a note. We have those coaching calls 4 times a year. They happen quarterly. And the next psychic hour, folks, please make a note of this. It's February 23rd of 2025. So it's coming up pretty fast too, just a month away from now. So it's towards the end of the month. Now, over here on the left, save the good part for last, my January specials. These are specials that I'm offering for you. Unfortunately, there are no more spots available in my Gear at a Glance readings. I knew they would sell out, they're gone. But you can still purchase the What's Coming in the Next 6 Months reading for $350. And that can be purchased all year long. I'm putting it down here as a special so people know it's available, but that will be on my site all year available so that at any point from where you're at, you can take a look at the next 6 months. I don't have plans to remove that. I'm going to leave that on there. No, I always have a What's Coming in the Next 3 months special, but this year I'm going to be leaving that What's Coming in the Next 6 months up there all year. My IT person doesn't know that yet. She's going to have fun juggling things, right, Lisa? Okay. Okay, my second special for January, and remember, this is also something, neither one of these are going to run out, so they're continuing through February. But the Anastasi system of psychic development class is going to begin on January 29th. We have payment plans available. And folks, if you have not taken that class and you wonder if you're psychic, if you've had psychic experiences, if you have things that have happened in your life that are just not explainable and you want to know more about them, if you are so open in this crazy world of ours that you have trouble even going outside without feeling like you got clobbered by the intense energy out there, if you're having a lot of trouble getting along with the people in your family and don't even want to deal with them, you're shutting down because their energy is too intense for you, I can help you. Join my psychic development program. Okay, we're all psychic. Our psychic abilities are all developing. And so many people are having problems with that because they've got these tools that could be beautiful, but instead of these things helping you, they're harming you. So if this is you, sign up for that class. It's not too late to do it. Like I said, payment plans are available. Talk to Lisa. Her email is lisasainc@aol.com. Okay, class begins on January 29th. But I will still be allowing people to come into that class for several weeks after that. And the first couple of classes will not be too hard to make up. But please, please, please get off the fence. Don't let the financing stop you. If you need this program, we'll find a way to make it happen for you. Talk to her. My February specials. I have a reading/coaching special that's gonna, and now this is what I want to tell you, this is a psychic reading. It's a channeled psychic reading, but my guides will also be coaching you during that reading. So it does combine the two modalities. And we're going to focus on all of your relationships. This is so important right now, folks. Right now, as they say in the Bible, there's a separation of the wheat and the chaff. I don't want it to sound scary or anything like that, but that's happening right now. People are making choices that are carrying them in radically different directions. People you were close to, you're not able to relate to anymore. People that you really didn't have anything in common with, all of a sudden you're finding that that person is the one you feel comfortable with. There are all these transitions going on. We all want to hold on to the people that we love and we care for, but we're having difficulty making those connections in many cases. And not just to people, sometimes to our job. We can have a relationship with not just the colleagues that we work with, but literally the work itself and the company that we're dealing with. There are all kinds of relationships in the world, the relationship with your parents, with your children. So this reading will touch upon all of those relationships, even one-on-one relationships between you and the person you love and care for most, if that's where your need is. So what you're going to be doing is giving us a lot of astrological information, yours and the people who are most important in your life as well, for this reading. That's $350. It's a great price for all that. And the reading will take between a half hour and 45 minutes. It's phenomenal. And if you're one of those people who wants to have some guidance in your relationships, don't pass that one up. It fits perfectly in February because, of course, that's when we have Valentine's Day. I also, by the way, have some spots available in my one-on-one coaching program. Folks, this is different than getting a reading. Now, you can order a single session with me, and my guides can give you a basic idea of what getting coaching with my guides and I is, but it's not the same as getting the whole package. The package is 6 sessions, and in 6 sessions, we can truly make a difference in your world. It builds, is what I'm saying. You're tackling the major issues in life that are getting in the way of your achieving the goals, of your having the lifestyle, having the relationships, accomplishing the things in your world, getting in touch with yourself, clearing away the blocks and getting rid of the garbage that's been in the way, and also situating yourself, putting yourself in the right place to be able to make the healthiest, most important, powerful step in your life. And by getting that coaching package, you've got me and my guides who see what's coming next, so they can help you to work on those important things that are going to help you to prepare for what's coming next. Okay. At any rate, people who've taken my coaching package don't quit. They continue with me because it's that good. Okay. So it's rare for me to have spaces open up. Right now, I've got some spots available. And I've opened up some spots. So contact Lisa at lisasainc@aol.com. Talk to her about it. And also you can find out a little bit more about it on the coaching page on my website. Now, it's not too late. I already talked about this for my psychic development program. Once again, if you're interested in that, please get off the fence, do it. And the last thing I want to make mention of, and I have them sitting right here on my desk, I'm so happy about it, are my Kabbalah Pathworking Transformation Card Deck cards. Folks, I created these cards. I'm so excited about it. I saw these cards years and years ago in my head. I created them. I'm not an artist. I created them with the help of ChatGPT. So me and AI created these together. And they are my thoughts that come from directly from my Kabbalah pathworking class. If you have studied the Kabbalah, if you've taken my Kabbalah pathworking, this deck is amazing. When I say it's a magical deck, it is just absolutely phenomenal. I drew a card for tonight's class. I've been drawing them as I do clients, and I've been finding that if I use them as an overview, they're amazing. They're just spot on. The card I drew for tonight is it's path 30, okay? This path in the Kabbalah takes us from the Yesod, which is the sphere of the moon, to Had, which is the sphere of Mercury. And it's a very powerful one. It talks about there being two ways of achieving enlightenment. One of those ways is through study and work and, studying all these disciplines, tarot and astrology and Kabbalah and Buddhism and all the different religions. And through your studies, you work towards enlightenment. And that can be lots and lots of fun and exciting. The other way of working towards enlightenment is through relationships, through learning to handle and connect and create that very special energy with that person or people that you can overcome and surmount anything with. And both of those techniques have the capability of opening up the Kundalini energy and being able to explode consciousness. So this card encompasses so much. It's going to be interesting to see in tonight's class how much of that we actually end up talking about. It's going to be fun. And I'm going to put it really close so you can get kind of an idea of all the different symbols that are from the Kabbalah pathworking that I teach that are actually in the card. So that is it's not a traditional tarot deck. It only has 24 cards in the deck because it mirrors the paths. And we have 22 paths in the Kabbalah, plus there's a lightning flash, plus there's a card that is representative of you, the seeker, okay? And they are, let's just say, lots and lots of fun. Here again, here they are, just kind of going through and taking a quick look at them. It's almost like I told AI what I wanted, and me and ChatGPT, sometimes we had a fight together. They took me months to create. Sometimes we had a fight together. Sometimes we were right on the same page, but it's like the computer pulled the information, pulled those pictures right out of my mind. It was pretty cool. We didn't have to do too many tweaks most of the time, but we did have some fun arriving at how to work together. I've got to tell you that. Anybody who's worked with ChatGPT will know it's kind of fun. Okay, a little bit challenging sometimes. Okay, Lisa, we are ready. Let's go. Who's our first, as you would say, victim?
All righty, the first person I'm going to call on tonight is Judy. And Judy, you are unmuted.
Hi, Sandy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Did you have a good holiday?
It was fabulous. The past two Christmases I was sick. This one I was well, so it was wonderful.
That's especially good. So
Yes.
Judy, where are you calling from?
I am in Pennsylvania, and I am a Capricorn, and I am grateful, of course, for my family, and I'm grateful that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to the Super Bowl.
Uh-oh, I think Lisa might disagree with you there.
That's okay, she can.
That's her team. Is that your team? I don't know. We'll find out. Well, congratulations that your team is going. I'm grateful. Folks, if you are either a Capricorn, a Cancer, an Aries, or a Libra, you're a cardinal sign. So what I'm about to say talks about all of the cardinal signs. Now, you'll note that the first 10 degrees, this is 10 Capricorn on this 6th house cusp, right? See my cursor down here in the lower right quadrant? That's a 10 degrees on that cusp, and that cusp is between the 5th house and the 6th house. So 10 degrees of Capricorn are in that 5th house, which is all about, games of chance, football, physical activities. It's about fun and games and your kids and all the things you're putting joy and happiness and focusing on and wanting to build and grow and give birth to in your life. So we've got 10 degrees of Capricorn in this house. The Sun and Mercury are also in this house, which is kind of nice. That's lighting up tonight that we're all here and we all have that hopefulness and expectation moving on. But most of Capricorn is going to be in the 6th house, okay? And that 6th house is an interesting house because it talks about your pets. That's what I love about it. But it also talks about your work, your day-to-day life, and it also talks about your health. Now, in that 6th house, we have Pluto, but that's not in Capricorn, it's in Aquarius. It has moved on, thank goodness. But later in the year, somewhere around April, Pluto's going to retrograde. So everybody who's here tonight, be aware of that. Because if you're here tonight, during April, when that planet retrogrades, if there have been a lot of health problems for yourself or a person around you, it's when Pluto retrogrades that you're going to have to pay close attention to your health and make sure that you're right on top of everything, because old problems could come back again. That's not right now. That's coming up between April and about August of this year. Okay. Meanwhile, though, since Pluto's moved out of that position, those of you, as she just said, who've been having health issues should be seeing this. Wow, my health is doing pretty good right now, especially if you're a cardinal sign. Okay, now the cardinal signs are, as I said, Cancer and Capricorn and Aries and Libra. So let's take a look at where they're falling in. We have the moon here tonight in Cancer, and that's up here in the house of friends. So you've got a lot of people around you, your friends and your family, people that you're close to that you really care a lot about. And there's a lot of closeness happening here. And you might be finding that even though the holidays have come and gone, you're still hearing from a lot of them. They're still reaching out. And that's a really nice thing to have happening. Over here, we have the North Node and Chiron in Aries, and that's in the 9th house, which is a house that involves travel and higher education. And opposing that, we have Libra with the South Node in it, which is in the house of foundational education, and also your sisters and your brothers. But you'll notice that since you are a Capricorn, now there are no planets in Capricorn in the chart, but since you are a Capricorn, you fill in that spot. That gives you Judy, a grand cross in the cardinal signs. So you're having the experience right now. I think of this as start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. It's like you get started in one direction and something calls you off to this direction. You get started there and something blocks that. So you have to go over here and get started here. So right now you've got the start, stop thing going on. And you're probably going to continue to have that going on at least for the next month. Okay. Wish I could say different. Now, the bad part is that you're not going to accomplish nearly what you really want to. The good part is that at least the things that are calling you away have to do with people you care about. They have to do with some fun stuff. They have to do with travel. They have to do with plans for the future. They have to do with visiting people, i.e. it's kind of an up and lots of energy time for you. Is that making sense to you?
It absolutely does, yes. There is a
Okay.
lot of start, stop right now. Yes.
Yeah, please be patient about it. You know, when you've got that, whenever there's a grand cross, there's always that start, stop, start, stop. And instead of getting impatient with yourself or beating your head against the door that won't open, just turn your attention to another area in life that is open, where you can make some progress. And when that gets stopped, then come back to the other one that was blocked. If that's still blocked, go try something different. And what you'll find is that you don't make as much progress in one single direction as you'd want, but at least you kind of expand in all the other ways, which could really be setting a good foundation for what you want to do in the future. And right now, by the way, is a very, very good time for just that, for you to be doing future planning. It's a good time for that. So if you're cardinal sign, folks, all the things that I just told Judy are going to be important to you as well. Again, that's Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. And boy, oh boy, family and friends and travel and relocation and moves, all of these things not happening right now, but talked about, thought about, and ready to launch. You see? And there it is. It's in process, just needs to get to that next step. Judy, what's your specific question?
Well, if I may, I wouldn't mind asking, um, my son has only had a couple jobs his life. He's 30, and his store that he was working at, a grocery store, closed down, and he's having a difficult time finding a job. So if I could ask for him tonight instead of for myself, now he's a Leo, if he's going to find something, because there's just isn't much out there right now that's full time with the benefits.
Well, we can also look at we can look at your chart and find them too. We'll do it both ways. Your son is in the fifth house in your chart. Remember I said this is kids? And here you've got the sun and Mercury, and your son is talking about maybe I should move, mom. Now, mom doesn't want him to move, but that might be a good idea. Your son is also thinking about going back to school, higher education. Okay. He's thinking about maybe wanting to do something that will get him maybe like something that he had wanted to do in the past, but never had the time to invest in, never had the time to do. Our world is going to be shifting dramatically. And it's difficult for me to actually talk about this now because I can't put my finger and say, look, this is happening because it's not there yet. I only know what's going to happen. Okay. And
Okay.
I would see this for your son as his opportunity to really embrace his dream. Okay. What if he could have anything, do anything, be anyone? What would it be that he would want to be? And it probably is going to involve higher education. It might involve a move, someplace he might have to move to in order to get that higher education. I think you already know what I'm talking about because you talked to him about it. Okay.
Right.
And the thing is, this is such an opportunity for him. I.e., the road is being blocked for him for a reason. You see, um, we have this amazing time period that's going to come into our lives. We have so many people. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little bit negative, and I hate to do this, but we have so many people in our world who are not following the path of their dreams, who are not following what they were born to do, who have gotten lost along the way. So many, many, many people who go through deep depressions and despondency because whether they like it or not, they have to put one foot in front of the other and keep going because somebody depends on them. So
I
when
think
you
I'm there also.
yeah, and guess what? Our world right now is changing. And I sound like, oh, well, Sandy's a Trumper. Well, I do like Trump, but you want to know something? Even if I didn't like him, doesn't matter. Okay. If it wasn't Trump here doing this, it would be somebody else doing this because the forces that are coming into our world, those transformational forces, say it's time, folks. It's time to gather ourselves together and to move on into a new world where we do have a say in what we're going to be, in what we're going to become, in what we want to dream about or manifest. We get to say what we want. You see, this is in the process. It's been coming for a very, very long time, and now it's in the process of launching. Now, am I going to say this is going to happen this year? By the end of the year, you're going to see a lot of what I'm talking about. You're going to see that light, but it's probably going to take I'm hearing 5 years before you really are embracing it and saying, well, Sandy was right. Look at what's happening here. Now I can really see it. Okay. It's going to
Mhm.
happen in one part of the country, in one part of the world, and it's not going to happen all over at once. This is going to be something which is going to have to grow. And like anything else, it grows and it expands and one person does it and another person sees it and does it too. This is your son's chance to be able to say, what do I really want to do? Folks, remember what I'm about to say, because whether you are a Capricorn, a Cancer, whether you're a Leo, energy works the same for all of us. Okay. If you are setting your goal out here, this is what I want. And I'm not saying, okay, I want a red Cadillac. I'm not talking about that kind of goal. I'm talking about the kind of goal that says, this is what I feel. This is the kind of world I want to live in. This is the kind of feeling, these are the people I want around me. It's a combination of the visualization and the desire, but also the feeling. When you put all three of those things together, and this is what I want to be when I grow up, whatever that is, guess what? The universe has absolutely no choice. It has to answer that. And what starts to happen is that all of the stepping stones, all the things that need to come into your world to be able to make that happen, begin to come to you. And then it's up to you to recognize them and take advantage of them and actually follow that route. Have the strength and the confidence and the trust that the universe is building you that bridge to realize your dream. Unfortunately, what happens to most of us is that responsibility snags us. Your son has a wife or a kid, or he's got his mother, or he's got his family with expectations. He's got 3 or 4 lost jobs behind him where he's feeling guilty or that he's not got good self-confidence. All these things happen, and what they do is they take that resolution that we started out with that says, yes, I can be this. And it causes us to have second thoughts. And instead of thinking about our goal, we also think about, well, maybe I could just work in a supermarket instead. And now the universe is hearing conflicting thoughts. And it says, well, I'm not going to give him anything until he's sure. We'll sit back and we'll wait until he's no longer conflicted. Or if the store energy feels like it's what he wants more, well, that's what we'll build on the bridge to. Do you see what's happened? So
I do.
most of us in our world, because we have lived in a situation, I'm not just talking about you and your son, but everybody in our world, really, not just here in the US either, because we've lived in situations where we don't have the income that we need. And I'm not talking about, there are obviously some really wealthy people who've been able to make it happen, et cetera, et cetera. I'm talking about the average, ordinary person. No, it's like as fast as the money comes in, it goes out, you see? And so you always have these obligations. As fast as you begin to take a step forward into something you want for yourself, somebody else is saying, hey, gee, I need. And your sense of compassion makes you reach out to them instead of doing your own dream. You see, there are all these things that get into our way. And what I'm talking about is a growing thing. It's something where we have to learn how to stay on track. Yeah, we can go off and help another person, but in the back of our mind, we still have to have our own dream. You getting this? What I'm talking
I
about?
am.
It's
Wow, that's
so
perfect.
important. It's life changing. Okay. Now,
Okay.
you said her son is a Leo, folks. The ascendant is Leo. What I'm talking about here isn't just about Judy and her son. Mars is here right above it. So I'm discussing Judy's son. Here it is. Mars is the boy, Leo. I love how this works. But I'm telling everybody what everybody here needs to know. Wherever it is that you are at right now, whatever you're doing in your life, what my guides were just talking about is exactly what you need. I guarantee it. Okay.
Wow, that is perfect. Thank you.
Judy,
And
thanks so much for bringing
congratulations on
that
your
up. That was a
cards.
great, thanks. It was a great first question to start with. A good way to start us. Like hours for the 2025 year. Thank you.
Oh,
And good luck to you. And incidentally, I see 2 things around your son. I feel that there are wonderful things possible for him, but and this is specifically for Judy's son, okay? There are wonderful things around him that are possible, but he definitely has a self-confidence and self-image problem.
yes.
And
Oh, yes.
it is linked to something he's done to himself in the past. I don't know if he had an involvement with a group or people that was not healthy, or whether it was drugs or alcohol, but there's something in his past that you may or may not, well, you know about it, okay? And whatever that thing is, it's not you or your husband, but whatever that thing is, it has eroded his self-image and self-confidence. And he needs to be able to move forward into the future, knowing and understanding that whatever that was that held him back, that got him down the wrong track, that has absolutely no effect on his future. It's been wiped clean. Tell him that.
Okay, I will. I promise.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Sandy.
you're welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, Lisa, who's our next person?
All righty, caller number 2 for tonight is going to be Kimberly B. Kimberly, you're unmuted.
Okay, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Kimberly. I'm in North Carolina, and what I'm most grateful for is my family.
And what's your sun sign, Kimberly?
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I knew we were going to have an Aquarian call in this evening. So before you ask your specific question, okay, let's look over here at the 7th house. Okay, this is the cusp of the 7th house, which is the house of relationships. The 6th house talks about day-to-day life, health, work. Notice Pluto there at 0 degrees and 36 minutes. It's just moved into your sun sign and it'll be there for 19 years, hon. And in your 7th house, you have Venus in Aquarius. So with Venus in your sun sign right now, your relationship should be going pretty happy. You should be good. You should know what you want. But we also have this little Pluto here, which is heading towards them. So there might be somebody around you who's important to you, perhaps connected to your significant other that has some health problems that you're very worried about. Do keep an eye on them. That's a smart thing. So folks, if you're a fixed sign, it means an Aquarius, a Taurus, a Scorpio, or a Leo. Those are the fixed signs. You need to pay attention to health matters right now. Things that pop up that don't look important, just make a note of them. Take care of them, make a note of them, and stay on top of them. Because little things could easily turn into big things because of this Pluto here in the house of health in your sun sign. Also, for now and the next like 3 months until Pluto makes its first retrograde end of March, okay, please keep a note of how things are going in your life because we have that Pluto energy, which is showing you where your next 19 years is going. So you're getting a little movie trailer like coming attractions. Isn't that nice? And some of it's going to be good and some of it's going to be bad. So don't just look at the bad stuff, look at the good stuff too. And guess what? Mars is in opposition to that Pluto. Now, the good part of that is whenever I see Mars and Pluto together astrologically, I call that the Superman aspect. It's incredibly powerful. It's just incredibly powerful. And now, if there is an illness, this is just an example, Pluto gives you the ability to overcome it when it's connected to Mars. There's the opposition. So there could, just as an example, be somebody connected to you through marriage or through somebody that you really care about who is very sick and has this Mars opposition going on, who, if they put their mind to it, has the capacity to make a complete and full recovery. You see where I'm getting that? Okay, there it is. It's like we're in the chart. Now, the other side of that, of course, is that if the person goes into the poor me's, they could do just the opposite. They could pull all that Superman energy into making themselves really, really bad, and bam, this acute situation develops, and it's a lot worse than it should be. So it's an extremes kind of an aspect. But if the attitude is right, boy, oh boy, I've seen people get up out of wheelchairs and walk who had that aspect. Powerful, very powerful. It's also interesting because these two planets connect, they're less than 10 degrees apart. So it's very possible that either your own relationship or your relationship partner or somebody very close to you's relationship is right now in the process of going through some real major, major changes. And there's both a death and a rebirth indicated here. And that would be true no matter which one of the fixed signs that you are. So when I see that death and rebirth, that can come out in so many ways. It could be that you're making a move halfway across the country. And so the death part of it is letting go of so many people. The rebirth is a new start, you see. You could lose somebody who's important to you in your life, but by losing them, you're set free to accomplish and do whatever you want. So don't forget the rebirth side of this. There is a loss connected to something major gained going on in your world, both at the same time right now. And pay attention to this, because when Pluto and Venus connect, as this is, the what you want is right out there. Get clear on it and focus on it. Don't let yourself get off track. If you get off track, it could take you a very long time to get back on track again. Okay. Now, we have got a T square in the fixed signs because we have Uranus in Taurus up here in the 10th house. That talks about changes in career, changes in locality, perhaps where somebody would work, changes in your life direction of what you think you want. And that fixed T square exits into the 4th house, which has a lot to do with family and home. So that says that there are major things going on. You said you're so grateful for your family and your home. Major things going on with people in the family right now. A lot of your energy is going there, and that could be in a good way or in a bad way. Really depends on the focus and where you choose to allow yourself to be drawn. Could be either way. Meanwhile, this, I would have no surprise here if you're spending most of your time at home or with the family or helping family members who are dealing with household issues. This is a very important aspect that's going on right now. How am I doing?
Oh, excellent. That's
Okay.
amazing that you pointed out with the family and marriage, because that's exactly what my question was. I was wanting to know, because I've been having a hard time deciding whether or not I want to continue with my marriage, and I just wanted to see if what your guides say about that in regards to that.
What's interesting is, remember at the beginning of the reading or the session today, I pulled Path 30. And it said that there are two ways of achieving life's purpose. It could be through study and investigation and experience. That's the scientific, that's the way of the mind. Or it could be by two people in a symbiotic relationship, completely working together and surmounting all of life's obstacles. And it really is your choice. Neither one is wrong. They both reach the destination. Don't you love it? Don't you want to just
Oh,
kick me? And then I pulled a card from the Rider-Waite deck, and that would be you, lady with the sword, kind of a little bit stern, but swords are air, so you're an air sign woman. Aquarius is air. And what that tells me is that you already know what you want to do. And here's what we were talking about before. The universe cannot take you to the next step until you get off the fence. You know what you want to do, but your sense of obligation, your sense of what's right and wrong, your sense of responsibility, all the little voices in your head that tell you about what everybody else has done over the years, all of these things are creating confusion on a day-to-day basis. And as long as that confusion, as long as you want both things, your guides can't give you one of them. Do you see it?
yeah, yeah.
So years back, when I was myself going through a similar situation, I'm going to share this because you're going to get a giggle out of it. I was also learning the cards at the same time. We're going way back. This is back in the 1970s. You're not old enough to know about that. There I was, and I was in this unhappy marriage. And I said, okay, one day we weren't getting along, and I'm thinking, I'm going to leave. And I'd lay myself out a spread of cards, and it would show me leaving and going through this rough spot, and then getting back on my feet and having this great life. And then we'd make up and I'd feel good about things. And okay, we can get over this. We can make this happen. We can make it work. I better lay out another deck spread of cards. And I'd lay out the spread of cards. And sure enough, it would show me, here's the rough spot. We just got through it. We're working together and we pull together and we create a new life together and we're happy. So guess what? What I discovered is that it's not so much about the person as it's about you and it's about the choice. And you're at that point in your life right now where we really can't make a prediction for you because you haven't made the choice. You see, you could stay in that marriage. It might not be the perfect place. It might not be really where you want to spend the rest of your life. I can tell you astrologically that since Pluto's just entering Aquarius and you're already having this thought, and it's already activating the seventh house in the horary chart, that you're going to have periods through the next 19 years where you continually think about, I should leave. Okay, it's not going to end just immediately. But I can also tell you that it's not going to end unless you make the choice to go to leave it. And you might be saying, I only want to leave it if I can be assured of finding another person. And to that, I have to tell you that any relationship, see, these are transits we're looking at. They're not people. Any relationship you have, you're still going to have second thoughts about. So if you leave this guy and go to another guy, over the next 19 years, you're going to be saying, gee, maybe I shouldn't have left the other guy. You're going to be saying, oh, I should divorce this one. You're going to be saying, there could be somebody better out there. Why doesn't he put the cap on the toothpaste? Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to diminish it. I want you to realize, though, that the energy at work isn't going away. The energy's there. And the energy says your challenge over the next 19 years is going to be to pursue what you want and find your goal and your beauty in life in spite of who you're relating to or whether you're even not in a relationship. Think about that for a while.
Okay, well, thank you, Sandy. So basically, what it's saying is that I should focus on my goals and the things that I need and get clear about that.
Exactly. You focus on your goals and what you need and what you want to be happy and creative and fulfilled in your life. And all those relationship issues are going to start to fall into place.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, thank
Yep.
you so much.
Good luck to you.
Hey, thank you, Sandy.
You're very welcome. And folks, again, my guides are giving out a lot of interesting insights here. So you're seeing what happens when I coach people as well. Just keep in the back of your mind that if you're a fixed sign, an Aquarius, a Scorpio, a Taurus, a Leo, what's going on in your life right now isn't about the other person in your life, even though it appears as if it is. It's about you. It's about you and you getting on track with you. Okay, and then everything else can follow. Okay, Lisa, who's our next person?
The next person is the Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. Sorry,
Yay!
I had to say that. All righty. Now, back to work. Diana, you're up next and you're unmuted.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi. So, your name's Diana, and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ontario, Canada.
Hey! How's
Yay!
it? Cold, or are you having a warm spell?
No, we're in a deep freeze, but you know what? It's lovely. It's snowy. It's a beautiful, beautiful time of year, I believe.
Well, I've been to Ontario in the summer. I like it better there. I'm a Floridian. But my husband and I were talking about you guys get that nice dry snow. And
Yes,
yeah, we can on a cold day, we can be colder here in Florida with all of our water and wet around us, the humidity, than you guys can be up there. So I get it. That beautiful dry snow is gorgeous.
I
And
agree.
what are you most grateful for?
I'm most grateful for all of the abundance that I have in my life right now, from work to friends to variety, the stability I feel from my family. There's a lot to be grateful for.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing that. We all need to hear that. And what's your sun sign?
I am a mutable Virgo.
Oh, we're hitting all of the signs through the people we've talked to tonight. I love how the universe arranges this, or maybe that's Lisa's intuition on who to call on. Virgo, as you said, is mutable. The other mutable signs, folks, are Pisces, that's Virgo's opposing sign, and also Gemini and Sagittarius. So if you are a Virgo, a Pisces, a Gemini, or a Sagittarius, all the things I'm about to say will pertain to you. Now, you've already looked at this chart because you know a little astrology, and Virgo is almost completely contained in this second house. And because your sun falls, the house is empty, but because your sun falls in this house, it's not empty for you. So for you, you've got a mutable grand cross going on. You see that? So that
Right.
same start stop stuff that I was talking to with our first caller, you've got that going on in your personal life as well. Okay. Now, unless you're a Virgo, you won't have that start stop. You will have a big focus on personal finance. Okay. So those of you who are mutable signs who aren't Virgos, right now you're probably very, very concerned with getting a job, keeping the job, making the money happen, and all that stuff. What you're concerned with is the maintaining the what you've got, you see, because it is that fixed cross. It's exactly what you said before. It's about maintaining the stability, being grateful for the stability, maintaining it, okay, keeping that balance very carefully. And I guess you're the person, since this is also the house of natural talent, skills, and abilities, you're the person who has been kind of elected to be the person who does all that.
Right.
So whenever anybody needs anybody to do something, they're going to turn to you and say, hey, so you're getting right now to be mommy to everybody in your world. And it's okay, because I think you actually enjoy that energy, you enjoy that position. Okay.
Yes.
We have a lot of things going on though. Right now, and this will pertain to all of the mutable signs, we have Saturn in Pisces in the 8th house. That's the money from other people, the universal money, the world's money, assets, resources, and Neptune is up here. So, although you're okay right now and you've got things the way they need to be, and there's a lot of stability, this is the part of you don't let everybody else see. You're very worried, you're very concerned. You're like, okay, what's the next step going to be? Where's this world going to go? How is not just see, if we only worried about your finances and your stability, you'd be fine. But you don't have any real control over everybody else in your world. And you're looking at what everybody is doing and you're saying, oh no, are they going to be okay? Because if they screw up, I can't fix it for everybody. So you're a
Right.
little bit being Miss Worrywart right now. I hope you realize that. Okay.
Oh, I do.
What's interesting is that you yourself have made some choices and decisions here. And I don't know exactly what they were, probably relative to investment, how you've got your finances set up, how you got your work set up. You have a personal friend who knows who you confided with, probably somebody you also know through business. You've got one of your kids who has an idea, actually two of your kids who have an idea of what's going on, but don't really understand it. The thing is, what you've done is to set you and everybody else in your family up so that whatever goes on in the world, you're going to be okay. But you still worry about it because you say, well, what if it doesn't happen the way I think it's going to happen? And then you panic. Miss
Yeah.
Worrywart, okay. But obviously, this is where so much your family is great, your kids are great, your friends are great. You're not, I'm assuming you're married, but you're a little concerned with how your husband handles money because he may not be on the same page as you. Okay, so that's a little bit of a worry there. What if he does something other than what I need him to be doing? Okay, but
Right.
nevertheless, you look like you're really in a good position to be financially and fiscally comfortable for a very long time, and probably help the people in your world to be in good shape as well. But that doesn't change the fact that you keep worrying about it. Okay. Do you have any comment or question on that?
I definitely agree that I have set ourselves up, tried to help our son, look through a certain lens to help himself for the future. He just bought his first home this year, which is great.
Good.
I'm also a caretaker to one of my brothers, so I help him financially. So yeah, and I do have a wonderful friend who is also my employer in one of the facets of work that I do. So you are bang on. I'm surrounded by abundance. I am surrounded by friends and family, and I do believe, to pat myself on the back, good choices that I've made as well.
Yes.
Um,
And what's your specific question for me?
Because I do have my fingers in a lot of pies. I'm doing a lot of different work. I'm 60 years old, but I do a lot of um, many streams of income right now still. I'm just wondering if I should be looking to narrow things down. Like I just feel like maybe I'm I've got myself looking at so many facets of life right now, so
Well,
many areas.
you're you're doing something which I'm very guilty of myself. So and I'm a mutable sign too. I'm a Gemini. So I commiserate with you. Okay. Like me, you have the ability to foresee the future. Are you aware of that?
I have a sense of that. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and for you, a lot of times you're not consciously aware of it. And it comes out mostly when you're being selfless and you're thinking about the other people involved and what you have to do. So, for example, you're the person who normally has 12 people come to dinner, but one night you put out a 13th plate by accident and there's an extra person at dinner. Okay.
Right.
You're that person who you have the foresight, but you're not consciously aware you have the foresight. Okay. So, what's happening for you right now is that you are knowing that at the age that you are, and you're spreading yourself this thin, and yes, you can handle it all right now, but you're also knowing that you're going to have to narrow this down in order to continue to do the good job in all these different areas. And because you're already seeing this thing that could be 10 or 15 years off, but you're feeling it and seeing it with such strength, you're thinking it's this year.
Right.
Okay. So just remind yourself that you have that ability to foresee, and you don't always know, is that 13th person coming to dinner tonight? Or did I buy that extra plate with my service for 12 because my son's getting married in 5 years? You see?
Gotcha.
And so what I would say is that your guides, that feeling you're having is correct, but it's not as imminent as it needs to be. Okay, or as it will someday be. So what you need to be doing right now is kind of looking at the things that you're doing, and is there something that you really don't make that much income from, and it's kind of takes more time than it's worth. Well, maybe it's time to gently pull out of that, assign it to somebody else, turn it over to somebody else, or just shut it down. So it is time to kind of back out of some of those extraneous things. But the main sources, and I think there are 4 of them, okay? The main sources need to continue.
Awesome. Yeah, you're bang on. I do have 4 things on the go right now, and I'm actually studying a 5th because I am a lifelong learner, and that's why I was kind of hesitating because I let that one slip. I paid for a course. I'm still very passionate about the subject, but my energy waned a lot. So I was just thinking, which way do I go? But you're right. I have to look at the practical, like the money and the energy, I think, as well, right? And the passion that I have.
Something else I want to share with you as well, and we mutable signs work this way. Remember, everybody has a higher self, and everybody has guides, okay?
Right.
All of us, everybody on this call has them. And your higher self and your guides are always paying attention. So if you should take a course and maybe you can't do the exercises, and maybe you can't actually put into action all the things that you learned, the thing is that your higher self and your guides were there through the whole thing. They got it.
Okay.
So I know for myself, and this sounds way out, but there are many times, I mean, I've taken courses I don't know anything about. I've taken courses in economics, for God's sake.
Right.
And I'm like, why am I here? Okay. And the thing is that my guides needed to know about that. Otherwise, I couldn't make the predictions about world events that I've made. You see? So a lot of the times I'm doing things that I need for something else. And it's not for me, I'm taking that course. I'm taking it because I'm feeding the information into my
Okay.
guides and my higher self so that they can use that in their wisdom, giving me the information when I need it. And I know that sounds really way out, folks, but the big thing is even if I'm asleep while I'm listening to it with headphones, my guides are getting it. Okay.
I understand that. I can actually relate to what you're saying because the passion is so deep. When I did hear about this course, I felt it right through me like this is something to continue. The interest is coming back, and I do have a timeline in which I can finish it. So, yeah, I can I can relate to what you're saying exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. It's like I mean, I do that with so many different things, and I know at the time that I'm taking it, if I sign up, and I'm careful what I sign up for, because obviously if I can't supply the time to at least listen to the course, or if it doesn't give, a lot of courses these days give, like my classes do. My classes are all recorded so people can listen to them 10 years, 20 years into the future. They can still be taking that course. So
Right.
pay attention, make sure the things you sign up and you learn and you listen to are that kind so that you can listen, even if you're listening to them while you sleep, you see. If it's something that requires physical presence every day there, and you need that energy and you need that time for those four other things that are income producing, well, guess what? You probably should find somebody else to study with where you get recordings. Okay.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
I
Or you
appreciate
can
that
put it,
advice.
yes, or you can put it on a back burner and say, okay, well, this is one that I'm going to put down in my recording book, my record book, because most of these courses come around every year. Okay.
Yep.
And I will, I'm just making a note of it because this is here and I'm going to connect with that person in the future. There are a lot of things that you'll do that with too. There's a lot of things, everybody who's listening to this, I hope you're getting it because this is a big part of what's going on in tonight's session too. We've got the North Node and Chiron up here in the house of learning, okay? So many of us are learning new things, or like our first caller, her son is probably going to need to retrain in order to be able to get the thing that he really wants to do that's going to bring him joy in his life. So most of us are in that kind of period right now where we do need to get out there and experiment and explore something new and different to really figure out what it is, what do we really want to be when we grow up, you see? But don't have the feeling that it all has to be done yesterday. Don't get
Okay.
over, don't get overwhelmed. We have time. We have many, many years. We have time. Okay.
That sounds great. And I really appreciate that because that gives me that sense of balance between the work that I want to do and the people that I want to serve.
Yeah. And they always remember too, and that goes back to this card. There's no stone left unturned. On the 30th path, one of the things we do is we go back into past lives and we look at so many past lives where in one life we've been a warrior, in another life we've been a alchemist, in another life we've been a teacher, in another life we've been a mother. We've had so much experience, and many of us have lived multiple lives in this one lifetime where we've been many different professions, we've been many different things to the people around us. And guess what? Every one of those things that you have been are building blocks for the next thing you're going to do. It always works that way. You need it all. You need it all.
That feels really good because I've had 4 distinct careers before I was 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you've been nose to the grindstone, like I said before, most of us have been. It's the world we've been living in that's created that situation, and it's changing now. We are going to be free to do more, to study more, to explore more. All of us will be. And the thing is that when you're in that nose to the grindstone space, you have to move from one career to another. You have to change. You have to move yourself through life to what's going to support that family, what's going to be the next step. That's, i.e., you feel as if what you're doing is out of your control. But in the future, when you're on the other side of that, you're going to look back and say, oh my God, I couldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if I didn't have all that experience.
That
All
settles my mind, and that settles me into thinking that I'm not being wishy-washy, that I'm just being my adaptable and mutable self.
Yep. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's what you were born to be.
Thank you, fellow Gemini, and I'm married to a Gemini too. So I mean, I get you, and just, yeah, thanks.
All the best. You have a great rest of 2025, and I'll see you next month. Okay. Folks, that's going to be it for the evening. And so remember what I said. If you've stayed through the entire call, be sure, and you still have a question, I might have already answered your question along the way, but if you still have a question, be sure to email it either to me directly at the email on this site, or email it to Lisa and she'll get it to me. And that's lisasa.inc@aol.com. And don't forget, our next psychic hour is February 23rd. And I forgot to tell you, you can purchase my Kabbalah Pathworking cards on my website. They're there. I'm so excited. And I'll see you next month. Have a great month ahead of you. And have a happy Valentine's Day, because I'm not going to talk to you before that, only after. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining me.